Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Blackwell and I'm one of the admissions counselors here at UT Arlington, and I'm so excited that you've all joined us today, so let's dive into some awesome information about UTA. So I always like to start off with this snapshot because it really gives you a good idea about our university. You can see that we have over 60,000 students enrolled globally, and roughly half of those are undergraduate students. You can see that we offer a wide variety of bachelor's degrees while maintaining a 25-to-1 faculty to student ratio, so you still get to build those connections with your professors and your peers and make sure you're really grasping the material. So let's go into some of our top ranking programs. I always like to kick things off with architecture because we're one of the only universities that offers a 4-year architecture degree. It is a 4-year degree because of how it's designed. Students are going to start off by learning sketching, then they'll move on to drafting, then they'll move on to computer modeling, and finally physical modeling. We're one of the only universities that still teaches sketching, and this can be really appealing to your future clients. If you're meeting with a client, you can sketch something up for them right then and there, instead of having to go back and draft it on your computer, then send it to them after the fact. Next up, we have our College of Business. All of our business programs are AACSB accredited. That's the American Association of College Schools of Business. Only about 5% of programs in the nation have this distinction, so it's really hard to get and it's even harder to keep. We're also creating new majors within our College of Business. We have a bachelor's in business analytics and we're creating a new bachelor's in philanthropy. We're actually the first university in Texas and the second university in the nation to offer an entire bachelor's degree in philanthropy. Next up, we have communications. Our communications department has a wide variety of programs for students. So if students want to be a journalist, a broadcaster, a corporate communicator, or anything in between, we have a program for them. Not only do we have great programs, we're also centrally located in DFW, which is the perfect place for our students to jumpstart their careers after they graduate. Next up, we have our College of Education. We're ranked among the top 3% of education programs in the country, and this is because our students get hands-on experience as early as possible. We partner our students with a wide variety of schools in DFW so they can really get experience in what they want to teach. So if students want to teach something as broad as elementary education or as specific as high school history, we have a connection with the school that we can place them in so they can get hands-on experience student teaching at the grade level that they're wanting to work with. Next up, we have our College of Engineering. UTA has a bit of a reputation as a STEM school, and with that comes a wide variety of engineering majors. We have majors as broad as civil or mechanical engineering and as specific as aerospace engineering. So we have something for everybody. We also just built our SEER building a couple years ago. That's the Science and Engineering Innovation and Research Building. It's a 4-story building and it's pretty much all lab space. There's only 2 classrooms in it. And this is going to be huge for our engineering students and science students because they can get research experience as an undergrad. We also have a really great music department. Within our music department, roughly 70% of our music majors are music education majors, and that program specifically has a 100% job placement rate, which if you're familiar with the arts, I'm sure you know that that's almost unheard of. And while we have the traditional degrees like music performance and music education, we're also innovating to meet the needs of our students and introducing new degrees, like our music industry studies degree. This is great for our students who want to go into music but want to go more into the music management or studio engineering side of things. We're also incredibly well known for our nursing program. Our nursing students do the maximum amount of simulation hours allowed by the state of Texas, and with this, they do this in our Smart Hospital. Our Smart Hospital is a 40-bed facility on campus that can be converted into a fully functioning hospital if necessary. This is where our students get their practice hours done with their dummies and live actors, but between those two, we have our Smarties. So our Smarties are dummies that have special technology to where one of them squirts blood if you get the IV wrong, one foams at the mouth, one can talk to you and tell you their pain level and has Siri technology, and we even have one that gives birth. This is really great for our students because they can get experience in different situations, and we don't always have an actor ready to give birth at a moment's notice. Earlier, I briefly mentioned our College of Science with the SEER building, and our College of Science is going to be all of our chemistries and ologies, so like chemistry, biochemistry, biology, psychology, which is obviously the best choice. I was a psychology major during my undergrad, so that program is especially near and dear to my heart. But our SEER building is going to be huge for these students as well. As I mentioned earlier, it's a 4-story building that has mainly lab space and only 2 classrooms. And undergraduate students can get involved with research pretty soon after they step on campus. And as someone who majored in psychology, I can attest to how one of a kind that opportunity is, and it's such a huge opportunity for our science and engineering students. Now, I like to tie social work and theater together with a fun little story about Now the robot. So Now is a robot that we have, and he knows Tai Chi. So we read some research that showed that patients in elder care facilities related more to robots than millennials. So we decided we wanted to find a way to get involved in our community and bridge that gap. And the perfect way to do that was to have our social students organize a Tai Chi class at local elder care facilities, and our theater students come in and partake in the class. It's kind of awkward at first because everyone's like, oh, we're learning Tai Chi from a robot, like this is kind of weird. But by the end of it, everyone has a ton of fun, and it's a great way for us to get involved in the community and for our social work students to get experience working with local constituents. Next up, I want to go into some of our pre-professional programs. These are going to be things like pre-med, pre-law, pre-PT, anything of that nature. If you're interested in one of these programs, I'm sure you've heard 1,000 times that these are going to be pathways, not majors, and that does hold true here at UTA. However, they are more than just a mark on your degree plan saying this is what you want to do after your undergrad. We have resources available to you on campus to help you prepare for the test you're going to have to take and help you be a strong applicant for the program you're applying to. For our pre-health professional students, we have a pre-med consultant and specific advisors, as well as peer mentors to help them through the process and strengthen their applications and prep for these tests. We also have a pre-law center within our College of Liberal Arts that currently serves 600 students and helping them become strong applicants for law school and preparing for the LSAT. Now let's talk a little bit about the Honors College. If you took AP or honors courses in high school and you really liked being in that environment of high-achieving, like-minded individuals, the Honors College might be a great fit for you. You get exclusive perks like study lounges, priority registration, special learning communities, and my personal favorite, free printing. You'll also have an honors distinction on your degree, and your honors coursework will be designated on your transcript. Now, your UTA degree is already going to set you apart from the rest, but that honors degree is just going to set you apart even more. If you're interested in applying to the Honors College, freshmen will need to meet one of these requirements, either an SAT of a 1270, an ACT score of a 27, be in the top 10%, or complete the Honors College prompt. The application deadline for this is going to be January 5th of 2021, and you do have to be admitted to the university before you can apply for the Honors College. Now, transfer students can apply for the Honors College as well. They get the same perks as the freshman students with priority registration, free printing, and special learning communities. The requirements are a bit different though. For transfer students, you do need a 3.35 cumulative GPA, and you have to have 60 hours remaining to complete your degree. You'll also need to complete the Honors College prompt, and the deadline is also going to be January 5th of 2021. We also offer a wide variety of study abroad programs. You can study architecture in Italy, photography in Australia, or kinesiology in Brazil. There's so many different programs that we offer, and these are just a few of them. Our study abroad office always says if there's a place you want to go and something you want to study, they can find a way to get you there. And they also offer scholarships. We are eagerly looking forward to when these programs are possible for our students again. Now let's talk a little bit about diversity. Diversity is so important because wherever you go in life, nobody is going to look and act and think the exact same way you do. And so going to a diverse college really exposes students to a wide variety of thought processes and opinions and really helps them learn and grow, which helps them become better peers and better employees in the future and helps them prepare to be more successful in their careers. And that's why we pride ourselves on having the 6th most diverse student population in the country. So these are a couple of campus traditions that we have. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see our annual oozeball tournament, which is just as disgusting as it sounds. So we hose down the sand volleyball courts until they're mud, and then faculty, staff, and students can all participate and have teams. You have to duct tape your shoes to your ankle, and then we just play mud volleyball. It's almost like quicksand, which is why you have to duct tape your shoes because they'll get sucked in real quick. Everyone gets super gross and then goes and eats a bunch of food after, and it's always a ton of fun. If you look at the top left-hand corner, that's my personal favorite tradition, is bed races. You have a team of 5, and so there's 4 people pushing and then 1 person steering. And steering is really more like hanging on for dear life. There's a theme every year, so a couple years ago there was a sci-fi theme, and that's how we figured out Chewbacca suits are not super aerodynamic. Last year the theme was 90s cartoons, which took a lot of people back and was super nostalgic and fun. So this is just a peek of what it's like to be a Maverick and some of the fun things that we have going on campus every year. Next up, I want to talk about our Maverick Speaker Series. This is something we do every year where we have different speakers come and speak on a wide variety of topics. So we've had like Seth Meyers and Terry Crews, Lou Diamond Phillips, as you can see, and he is an alum, so we always like to highlight him. But we have people come from a wide variety of backgrounds and speak on a wide variety of topics. One of my personal favorites was Jungle Jack Hanna. He was like Steve Irwin before Steve Irwin. So he came and talked about modern ecology in his career as a zookeeper and where he kind of thought modern ecology was going and where it needed to go. He also brought a wide variety of animals on stage, like a snow leopard and snakes and like birds and animals that like I had never even heard of before. So it was really cool. And this is something that we love to offer our students, this one-of-a-kind experience, and it is free for students to attend. Well, when you're picking a university, academics is obviously really important. It's important that they have the program you want to study, and they have a great program and great professors. And UTA has all of those things, but I think it's also really important to love where you live. And living in Arlington is such a unique experience because you really are at the center of everything. We're centrally located in DFW, so you can hop over to Fort Worth, which is this really cool city with this Western flair. You can go to a rodeo or a cattle drive, then come home and sleep in your own bed at night. The next day, you can wake up, hop over to Dallas, which has the largest arts district in the Western Hemisphere, go to a Stars game, which is my personal favorite pastime as a huge hockey fan, and then come home, sleep in your own bed at night, and be ready for class Monday morning. That's such a unique experience that not all students can get. And while living on campus isn't required for students, it's highly encouraged. We have 6 residence halls on campus, including West Hall, which is our newest dorm. It was built in 2018. We also have 10 different apartment communities on campus that students can live in. So this is a really great opportunity for our transfer and freshman students to live on campus and really get to know their peers and truly live at the center of everything. Now, I love this slide because I was talking to a friend who was looking at going back to school, and I told her that UTA was one of the most debt-friendly schools in the nation. And she said, "Sarah, I don't know what that means. I don't want you to be nice to my debt. I don't want to have any." And so what us being debt-friendly means is we offer the most financial aid and scholarships that we're able to offer students. So to kick off talking about scholarships, I want to talk about our merit-based scholarships. These are going to be based off of academics instead of some other non-academic criteria. For freshmen in the past, they've been based off of test scores and class rank. So the first one I'm going to talk about is our Presidential Honor Scholars. This is going to be a $12,000 scholarship per year. The minimum test scores are a 1,400 on the SAT or a 30 on the ACT, and students must be in the top 20% of their class in order to be eligible for this scholarship. The deadline for this is December 7th of 2020. Next up, we have our Presidential Scholars. This is going to be a $10,000 scholarship per year, and the minimum test scores have been a 1,300 on the SAT and a 28 on the ACT. These students also must be in the top 20% of their class, and the deadline is also December 7th of 2020. Next up, we have our Maverick Academic Scholars. This is going to range from $2,000 to $8,000 scholarships per year, depending on the student's rank and test scores. The minimum score is an 1,100 on the SAT or a 23 on the ACT, and students must be in the top 50% of their class. The deadline for these is February 15th of 2021. Now for these deadlines, you don't have to receive an admissions decision by that date. We just have to have all of your application materials on file before then. These scholarships you don't apply for, so as long as we have your materials by the deadline and you are eligible, you'll hear from our scholarship office regarding these. There's no application process for them. Now, these requirements may be looking a little different with COVID-19 since we are test optional, so be sure to check our scholarship website for the final requirements for the 2020 to 2022 school year. We also have merit-based scholarships available for our transfer students. These scholarships range anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000, and you have to have a 3.5 cumulative GPA to qualify for them. You also must have completed 24 hours and apply for a fall semester. We have to have your application and transcripts on file by February 15th in order to qualify, and you do not have to apply for these. As long as you have the GPA and hours and we receive your documents by the deadline, you'll automatically be considered for them. Now, if you're a member of Phi Theta Kappa and you receive one of these $1,000 scholarships or more, you'll be eligible for a Phi Theta Kappa scholarship. If you are eligible, you'll receive an email giving you instructions on how to submit your induction certificate or some sort of proof of membership to be eligible for that scholarship. Next up, we have our Terry Foundation Scholarship. This is for freshmen only. The Terrys are a couple who decided they wanted to invest in students instead of companies or things. So to qualify for this, students must be a U.S. citizen. They have to have graduated from a Texas high school and they have to demonstrate need for the scholarship. Then, of course, academic ability and students who are leaders in their community are going to be really competitive candidates for the Terry Scholarship. This scholarship covers full tuition, books, on-campus living expenses, and even study abroad. And the deadline for this application is going to be in January 2021. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sarah, you've told me all of these awesome, wonderful things about UTA. How do I apply? How do I become a Maverick? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you. So to apply for freshmen, you can apply through applytexas.org or commonapp.org. We accept both. You'll submit the $75 application fee or the ACT or SAT application fee waiver. Send in your official high school transcript, and if you've taken any dual credit coursework, you're going to want to send that transcript over as well. And then send in your SAT or ACT test scores if you have them. We are test optional for 2021, so if you haven't been able to take the SAT or ACT, it's not a problem. You don't have to submit those scores. Now, for my transfer students, you're going to apply through applytexas.org, submit the $75 application fee, and then submit your official transcripts from any colleges you've attended. So if you're like me and you went to 3 Texas public colleges before you found the one you call home, we do need transcripts from all of the colleges you've attended. Now, our admissions criteria look a little bit different this year for freshmen just because we are test optional. So students who are in the top 25% or top quarter of their graduating class, there's no minimum SAT or ACT test score, and students are automatically admitted. Now, for students in the second, third, or fourth quarter or who are not ranked, we are doing an individual review process. This just means we're going to look at your transcripts, everything you send us, we're going to review you holistically and issue a decision that way instead of just going off of your test scores. If you send us scores, we'll definitely look at them and take those into consideration, but it's not the only thing we're looking at. We do super score the SAT, and we're going to consider your highest ACT composite score for admissions and scholarships. For transfer students, our admissions requirements are 24 hours and a 2.25 GPA. If you have less than 24 hours, you can still transfer over. You'll just need to meet freshman admissions requirements in addition to transfer. So you'll need that 2.25 GPA, but we'll also need your final high school transcript and SAT or ACT scores if you have them. Now, with transfer students, developmental and vocational coursework does not transfer, then courses with a grade of D or lower do not transfer either. And finally, all credits must be issued by a regionally accredited institution. So come visit us. We are still having campus tours. They're limited to 1 family per tour, and masks are required. You do have to make a reservation for a tour in advance, and you can do so through the Dan Dybert Welcome Center. Now, we also have an open campus, so students can come and do self-guided tours and just walk through campus to see what it's like. We're also having virtual events just for UTA with our own special twist for transfer and freshman students alike. You can find more information on those on our website under the Virtual Admissions Events page. Be sure to stay in touch with us by following our social media accounts and chat with your admissions counselor to get any questions you have answered. Have a great day and Mav up!